So today I'll be talking about how to improve your football IQ. Now, obviously, to make it as a pro footballer, you have to have a great football IQ. You have to know, no matter what position you are, you have to know where to be on the pitch at certain times, in certain scenarios, what you should do, whether to take one or two touches in certain scenarios, whether knowing when to release that pass if you're a centre midfielder, knowing as a winger whether to take on your man or whether to just pass it back and reset and recycle basically and keep the ball for your team. Literally all these things. Because let's be honest, I think we all know a guy like there's nothing more frustrating than a guy who's got bags of ability, he's got bags of potential, bags of ability, like on the ball, like he's amazing. He can dribble, he can shoot, he can pass, but his decision making and sort of game intelligence is just off. Like he doesn't know when to release the ball. Like he can dribble, he can do step overs, but he doesn't know about timing, about when to time it. He doesn't know about, what I'm saying, when to make the runs, when to come shoot for the ball, when to spin in behind, and just little certain things like that. Or he's a great defender, but he takes too long on the ball. He doesn't know when to just clear his lines, and he doesn't know when to play out from the back. He doesn't know when to clear his lines, but he's a great 1v1 defender. Like all of these things just tie into your football IQ, your game intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Like a wise man called Jeremy Lynch said. He said, what did Jeremy Lynch say? He's the best on the ball at Arsenal. He was the best, but off the ball, he was the worst. You know what I'm saying? His football IQ wasn't there. That's why he didn't make it. Obviously, now we all know the guy was lying, but still, it still holds true. There's still probably guys in the academy who are like that, where on the ball they're amazing. The coaches, obviously, the coaches saw something. That's why they're there. But off the ball, they just don't quite understand the game. They don't know. They don't know. They know what to do, but they don't know like when to do it, how to do it. Just all of those certain things. So today I'll be telling you how to improve your IQ, how to improve your game intelligence. Now, the first way to improve your game intelligence Now, the first way to improve your game intelligence is literally by playing different positions. Now, this is something that goes against what I've said in the past, because in the past I've said that, once you get to a certain age, you should sort of lock down a position. You should sort of like know that position inside out, sort of lock it down, sort of know the ins and outs, know what's called experience different scenarios in that position, so that when you get older, when you actually make it to that top level, you've seen every single scenario. You've seen every single scenario you've seen in that position, whether that's you being a right back, a centre mid, a striker. You've seen all different situations. You've seen all different angles, so that you know when a situation pops up, nothing's new to you. You know everything. You know what to do. If you're a striker in the box, you know whether to take that. You know whether to take that. What's it called? Take that chance in one touch, or whether you have time to take a few touches around the box and then finish, like little things like that. So in the past, I have said that you should try lock down a position as quick as possible. However, I do feel like experiencing different positions, sort of at a younger age, but also what's it called? Also when you get older, maybe having two or three positions could improve your game intelligence a lot, because you sort of know. Because I feel like as footballers, especially with our different positions, we all have sort of like our pet peeves about playing that position. So obviously, I've played centre mid and I've played as a fullback. So I know the pet peeves of a centre mid is literally like, when the defender doesn't give you the ball, or he gives the ball to you on your wrong foot, or he plays the part, or you've come to receive the ball and you've come to bounce him, but instead of him playing the ball like softly, he's literally fired it into you. So now your touch is off and now you're looking stupid. Or when the defenders, or when sort of right your right back or your left back doesn't really look in between the lines, they keep playing it down the line. So these are like the little pet peeves for me as a centre mid. But obviously, now that I've played right back, I also know the pet peeves for a right back is sort of like, what I'm saying, when people don't show for the ball, so you're just all game you're just having to play your centre back every single time. Or when the winger doesn't realize that there's spacing behind him, and I can ping him the ball, but he keeps coming short when there's spacing behind, like little things like this. So obviously, if you've played in multiple positions, you sort of know these pet peeves. You sort of know, you know, okay, what your teammate wants from you. You know how to give him that pass. You know what sort of run to make. You know what I'm saying? Um, this way, you literally sort of know all your teammates' needs. If you've played in every single position, you sort of know what everyone needs, what everyone wants from you. So, for example, with me, when I was playing, now that I'm playing right back, it's like every single time the centre mid calls for the ball, I sort of know what to do. I sort of know what he wants, because I've played that position myself. So if he calls bounce, I know, play the ball to him slowly so he can literally just bounce me back. Or or as a right back, I'm not constantly just looking down the line every single time. I'm also scanning to look, okay, is there a pass I can thread in between the lines? Does the number 10 want the ball? Does um the number 10 or the number 8, are they in a good position to like give them the ball? Simply because I've played that and I sort of know what's it called, what a centre mid wants, what their pet peeves are, and yeah, I just feel like playing in different positions, you just get to know, like the nuances of every single position. You just sort of know what players in different position want, um, and yeah, like and in that case, you just help your team because now now you're giving your teammates the ball on their right foot. You're giving it what's it called? You're giving that your teammates the ball when they're making a run. You know when they're gonna make the run. You know that if you've been a winger before and now you're a fullback, you know that okay. If you see a winger sort of check to make a run and then spinning behind, you know when to play that ball straight away. Whereas if you've never been a winger before and you're a fullback, you're kind of like, oh man, probably going to be looking like, what's he doing? Like, why did he check back for the ball? Why didn't he just run straight away? You sort of just don't have that understanding. You don't have that nuance. You don't have that knowledge of like, oh, the winger sort of has to check back so he can pull the fullback inside, so he can spin out the other way. So yeah, just knowing little things like that will improve your football IQ. Just knowing every single position, just knowing the nuances of every single position, and yeah, just what to do in every single situation, so you can help your teammates out, so you can and yeah, just help your team win. Now, the next way to improve your football IQ is an obvious one, and it's obviously by watching games. Now, this can be your own games to really analyze what you do well and what mistakes you make and what to improve on. Obviously, that's probably the best way in it. That's probably the best way to actually assess your strengths, your weaknesses. But I know majority of people don't really get that luxury of having every single game filmed, every single game recorded, and being able to sort of analyze their mistakes, analyze what they did good in that game. And so for me personally, I think the best way to improve your football IQ is literally to go on YouTube or watch a live full 90-minute game. Even if you don't want to watch for 90 minutes, at least watch for 45 minutes. And literally, whoever's playing, yeah, doesn't matter whoever's playing, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're watching a live game, literally just pick a player who plays in your position. So me personally, I remember I did this. So I was trying to be a center mid. So I went on YouTube and I literally just searched Barcelona versus Real Madrid, like, what I'm saying, in the prime El Clasico days where, what I'm saying, you had Pep was the manager, Jose was the manager. Obviously, you had Messi, Ronaldo, Xavi, Iniesta, Ozil, all these guys. So I literally just went on YouTube and I just searched Barcelona versus Real Madrid. It was probably some match from like, I want to say 2011, 2012. And I literally just said, okay, cool. I'm a centre mid. Who should I pick to analyze their movements, analyze how they get the ball, question and also ask questions about, okay, why did he play one touch? Why did he play two touch? Why did he decide to turn there? Why did I think he was gonna pass there, but instead he passed it to a different player? And obviously the player I picked was Xavi. So I was just so literally for just the whole 90 minutes, I was just watching Xavi. And anytime he got the ball, I would literally pause the YouTube video and literally just say to myself, okay, what would I do in this situation? What do I think he's gonna do? So I'd literally just pause it and predict his next pass or predict his next movement. Is he gonna try driving the space, or is he gonna play simple? Is he gonna play a long ball? And if he did the same thing that I predicted, then I was thinking, okay, cool, that's good. At least we're sort of on the same wavelength. You understand? Obviously, he's on a different level, but we're sort of on the same wavelength. And then if I got the prediction wrong and he decided to do something completely different, then I'd start asking questions. I'll start be like, okay, why did he do this? And you start rewinding the clip to see what happened in like the 10 seconds before he got the ball. What was he looking around at? What was he scanning? What did he see before he got the ball basically? And I feel like this is probably the best, apart from watching highlights of your own tape. This is probably the best way to sort of improve your game. To watch the pros, learn from the pros, watch how they receive the ball, watch their actions sort of 10 seconds before they get the ball. What are they looking around at? What are they trying to see? What pass are they trying to play? Why did he decide to drive into that space there? Or why did he decide to play out to the right wing instead of the left winger? Just little things like that. Just little things like that. You just start to see how the pros move. You start to understand, okay, why they do what they do. And then obviously when you implement that in your game, of course you're gonna become a better player. So that's the second point. Literally, just start watching 90-minute games or go on YouTube, watch a full game for 45 minutes, pick a player who plays in your position, and just analyze their movements, their passes, their dribbling, their shooting, whatever attribute you want to improve on. Just analyze why and just ask questions. Why did they do that? How did they do this? What were they doing? Like, this is a big one. What were they doing 5-10 seconds before? Because I feel like a big thing is like preparation before you get the ball. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously you need to know what you're going to do with the ball before you get the ball. We've all heard that phrase before. You can't just have the ball under your feet and then you're looking around deciding your next pass. It's like, nah. So that, I think that's the most crucial element. Always like 10 seconds before they get the ball. Let's say they get the ball. I would just say rewind it back 10 seconds and just sort of see where they were on the pitch. What were they looking around at? What were they trying to do? What were they trying to see? And I think that'll make you a better player. So that's number two. Literally just watch games and lock in on one player and just analyze their movements, analyze their actions. And then my last point is literally just getting experience. And what I mean by getting experience is literally by trying to play under a variety of different managers, different coaches, different systems, different formations, and just a different range of like high level players. I think this is why I've said in the past that I feel like it's a good thing for young players to be that sort of, that young player who's constantly switching teams. He's every single season he's at a new team. I used to think that this was a downside, that this was a bad thing. I used to think in my head as a young player, like, oh, this guy has no loyalty, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's actually a very good thing for development as a player, because if you're at a team from like the age of 6 to all the way to the age of 12, you've pretty much only known one style of management, and let's say you've been with the same players as well. You only know one group of players, one style of sort of management. Maybe that same manager has literally played he's had the same sort of philosophy for all that time. Maybe he's just always been like a counter-attacking coach, a coach that makes you guys sit back and just hit teams on the counter attack. You've never really played under a possession manager, so you never had to focus on your first touch, really coming in at an angle to receive the ball on your back foot. You never really had to learn things like that. So I personally think as a young player, it's good to constantly switch teams and try. Obviously, you want to try upgrade teams. Don't just switch teams for the sake of switching teams. If you can't find any teams that are better than you, then obviously you have to stay. Or you move parallel. You move to another team who's sort of at the same level as you. You understand? But I just think young players should move teams like every 1 to 2 years, just to get that experience of dealing with different managers and a different group of players. Maybe you have one group of players. Maybe you have one group of players. They're all nice players. They all like to, what I'm saying. They all like to chat to each other. They're all friends. They're all this and that. And then you get another group of players where they're just dickheads in it. Like they're just dickheads. Like, and you don't really like them, but it might not be enjoyable per se, but I think in the long run it will help you, because when you get to the professional game, you're gonna find all sorts of characters, all sorts of personalities, so you know how to deal with everyone. You know what I'm saying? If you've never dealt with the guys who are dickheads, then once you get to the pro game, you're gonna basically face a mad reality shock that some guys are just dickheads basically. So you know how to maneuver, you know how to maneuver your way through having the teammates who cries all the time. You got the guy who's always angry. You got the guy who's never at training. You got this guy. You got that guy. You've just seen everything basically. That's what I think. And same with the managers as well. Maybe you've only had like the soft type of manager. I think I've mentioned it before that was all I was used to from like the age of like 6 to 11, sort of, where it's like I only had managers who were sort of soft on me. And then I moved to my team at 12 years old, and I was like, okay, this is more of a manager who's like, he's a lot more tough on his players. He demands way more on his players. And if you've never experienced the different types of managers as well, it's gonna be, like I said again, reality shock, like it was for me at 12 years old. Like by 12 years old, I don't think a manager had ever like cast me out on the pitch, like shouted at me. And the first time my new manager did that, I was like, raw. Like I was sort of taken aback. Like I think what's it called? I think I went in for a 50-50 and I lost out on the 50-50. And he went, Jayden, fucking stronger. And I was like, oh damn, like my other coach, literally a little thing like that. To a lot of you, man, that's probably not even that deep. But to me, I was thinking, raw, like this guy's onto me, because I've never experienced that. And I feel like as a young player, you need to just get used to experience that. Different types of coaches, different types of personalities. And obviously, when it comes to playing with high level players, obviously you just want to see how they move. Like any single time I've played against high level people, there's been times where I couldn't get near to them, but I've always just sort of analyzed their movements. Like during the game, I'm like, okay, how is he getting this space? How is it when I get the ball, I'm getting pressed all the time, but then he always has the space to basically just do what he needs to do, push his team forward. Like I remember I was at some 7-a-side thing, and this team we were getting bad. Like this team was beating us like 3-0, and obviously 7-a-side is just you play a 2, 3, and then a 1. And then I was playing as a center mid, so I was against another guy, the other center mid for the other team, and I was thinking, yo, how does this guy always seem to have time on the ball? Like I'm trying to get near him, but anytime I try to get near him, he always has that 1 or 2 seconds to get his pass away. Like I can't really, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to hit him, I'm trying to get closer to him, but I can't get close to him. And then obviously I started to see, okay, what he does. During the game, I was starting to think, okay, what does he do? I was sort of watching him. I was like, okay, cool. This guy, this guy is what's it called? This guy, he's constantly scanning his shoulders. He's constantly looking. Like even when the ball's like on the other side of the pitch and he doesn't even and there's no chance the ball can even get to him. He's still scanning. He's still scanning. Even if he's gonna get the ball like 20 seconds later, he's just always assessing his surroundings, always assessing what he needs to do. He's dropping into little pockets of space. And obviously during the game, I'm still locked in during the game, but I'm low key having I low key have an eye on him. I'm thinking, okay, what does he do? I'm just trying to gain knowledge, basically just trying to see, okay, what does this guy do? How do I get that exact same space? And obviously, I remember that week at that 7-a-side thing, they beat us. What was it? They popped us. It was like 5-1 or something, maybe 6-1. And then the next week we came back. And we came back. I put everything I learned from that guy into practice. We played the exact same team and we beat them 1-0. So yeah, there you go. Once you play against high level players or you're training with high level players, maybe they're your teammates, you get to see what they do. You get to see yo, what makes the difference between me? What's the difference between me and this other guy in terms of knowing the game, in terms of our football intelligence, knowing the game, knowing how to move, and yeah, just knowing how to help our team win. So yeah, that's the last point. Literally just experiencing different managers, different players, and different formations slash systems. So that's all I got for this vid. Hope you enjoyed. I've been JT, and I'm out.